Rappers are monkey flipping with the funky rhythm I be kicking. Musician, inflicting composition.
But that's the great thing.
She did say
Smoking blunts in the project hallways, shooting dice on.
Property is a thing. People are people. So how come things have all the rights and people get treated like things that don't matter? Housing is a human right. It is as basic a right as exists. Homes are not built for people to live in. Homes are built for people to make money. People to make money. Always talk about building affordable housing. We don't need more housing. There's no such thing as affordable housing under your model in the first place, just like there's no affordable food under your model or no affordable transportation under your model. We have hundreds of people without homes. We have thousands of homes sitting empty. Just like you have people walking around malnourished. We have grocery stores full of food that they cannot afford. Capitalism does mean that you have too much food and you have too much housing and it all sits unused while more and more people are homeless and hungry. The property is stored up and the property is protected and the people live in misery. The people live in misery. sidewalk, you try to ban people being in the parks, you flood downtown with hostile architecture, you force the IRC to cut its hours, and try to turn the IRC into a police station effectively. All summer long, you have elevated stories about property damage, while scapegoating the damaged people. sacrificing people to property. People are people. People deserve food and medicine. People deserve shelter.
too much money here. I mean, nobody should be hitting lotto for 36 million and we got people starving in the streets. That is not idealistic, that's just real. That is just stupid. There's no way Michael Jackson should have, or whoever Jackson, should have $1 million, druple $1 billion and then there's people starving. There's no way. There's no way that these people should own planes and their people don't have houses, apartments, shacks, drawers, pants. I know you're rich. I know you got $40 billion. But can you just keep it to one house? You only need one house. And if you only got 2 kids, can you just keep it to 2 rooms? I mean, why have 52 rooms and you know there's somebody with no room? It just don't make sense to me. It don't. And then these people celebrate Christmas. They got big trees, huge trees, all the little trimmings. Everybody got gifts, and it's nice. And they're having a white Christmas. They're having a great Christmas, eggnog and the whole nine. That's not fair to me. Is America gonna help us ever?
Of America is the history of rich white men telling not rich white people that their enemies are black and brown. During the colonial period, mid-1600s, there was no such thing as white people. I know some people who are now called white find that shocking because they think whiteness is real. But whiteness was created. Europeans didn't call themselves white. We didn't call ourselves white. We weren't all members of one big happy family. Are you kidding? Have you studied the history of Europe? The history of Europe was about killing each other. That's what we did in Europe. We just killed each other before we figured out there were other people to kill. We just killed each other. I mean, that was the history of Europe. The English hated the Irish. Northern Italians didn't even think that Southern Italians were Italians. The Germans hated everybody. Why was it suddenly necessary to create this thing called the white race? Well, because rich people can count. That's why. And so rich folks looked around, the ones that owned all the land, you know, in the colonies, the colonial elite looked around and they realized something, that they were heavily outnumbered by African enslaved folks, by European indentured servants who were just one level above a slave, or other Europeans who weren't technically indentured servants, but they were still peasants, didn't have any money, didn't have any land, and they could do the math. They added it up and they were like, damn, we got to figure out a way to split these folks apart from one another or they're going to rise up and take our stuff. Because Because after a while, these black folks who were enslaved Africans and these quote-unquote white folks who were poor Europeans are going to figure out they're all getting played by these rich people. So ultimately, the rich figure out they got to come up with some way to get somebody in that group on their team. The easiest thing is to get the poor Europeans, because at least they look like you. They sort of share some of the customs and the culture. So they all of a sudden create this thing called whiteness, and they say, now you're part of the club. Now we're going to let you testify in court, enter into contracts, vote, at least if you're a man, own a little bit of land, at least if you're a man, and we're going to get rid of indentured servitude, no more of that, because you're too good for that. And we're going to take the white men, now called white men, and put them on the slave patrol to keep black people in line. Give them a horse and a gun and a badge and make them feel big and powerful. They're still poor. They still don't have anything. They didn't pay the slave patrol well. Just exploited them, used them as a buffer between the elite and the other poor folks, particularly poor folks of color. And pretty soon, the rebellions that occasionally happened where black and white got together to overthrow the elite, those stopped because the divide and conquer had begun to work. But here's the trick. If I'm rich and I want to go to war to protect my ownership in other human beings, my property, but you're poor and you don't own any enslaved people, why the hell would you go fight to protect my stuff? I'm a rich person, I'm not gonna fight. Rich people don't go to war. Rich people get poor people to go to war for them, whether it's in 1860 or whether it's during the 1960s or whether it's today, right? Rich folks get doctors to write notes for them that say that they have heel spurs and that's why they can't go to Vietnam. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, you can Google that shit because he's sitting in the White House right now.
you